Hey everyone, welcome to another flashlight video. Wurkkos was kind enough to send me here the FC13S, and I went ahead and unboxed it to save time. If you may recall, recently in the past, Wurkkos had sent me the FC13, which is actually right off here to the right in the background. So if you want to check out the video here, I'll put a screenshot of what the thumbnail looks for the video, and you can find it on my channel, and I might put the link down in the description for that video in case you're interested. So anyway, this is the FC13S, which is also an EDC flashlight. And we're going to go through all the specs and everything real fast, and we'll go through the UI, and we'll take it outside and test it out at night in the beam shots. I will also compare this light to the FC13, which I have done recently in the past. So most likely when we go outside, we'll go ahead and do a beam shot comparison of them both in turbo between the two lights here. But anyway, this is mainly about the FC13S. We will be talking about the FC13 throughout the video, just to give you a little background and comparison between the two lights. All right, so real quick here, let's see what we get in the box. This is a USB-C rechargeable flashlight, so you do get a nice USB-C cable. You do get a lanyard and two O-rings. You get this little piece of paper that says, "Thank you for choosing Wurkkos." Also tells you about the little insulator that protects the flashlight from operation in transit to protect from any hazards or accidents, and tells you to remove that. We'll show that when we get to the battery part. And you have the user manual. And I'll go ahead and put the user manual on screen. So you should be seeing that now on the screen. And I'll pause here for a moment just so you can take a look at that. And I'll go ahead and clear these items out of the way so we can go over the flashlight itself. Okay, real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. The box is a pretty standard Wurkkos box, same box the FC13 kind of came in. On the side here, you can see it's a FC13S, and you can see the LED and all that stuff, that information. So pretty simple box there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the light itself. And there you go, FC13S. Let's go ahead and talk about the specs on this light. Okay, the emitter on this light is the XHP50.2 LED. And it has a color temperature of between 5,000 and 5,700 Kelvin, just so you know. The dimensions real fast, and I might put something on the screen here to show you. Lengthwise, 113.7 millimeters or 4.44 inches. And the head diameter here is 29 millimeters or 1.14 inches. So pretty compact flashlight, as you can see. Definitely an EDC flashlight you could fit in your pocket at all kinds of places. Weight, this is without the battery, 77 grams or 2.71 ounces. It is made from aerospace grade 6061 aluminum alloy. So, and it looks like it is type 3 hard anodized for an anti-abrasive finish. This is waterproof IP68, which means it can be submerged for up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. Impact resistance, if you drop this, it's supposed to be impact resistant for 1 meter or 3.28 feet. It does have ATR, or their Wurkkos' advanced temperature regulation. So basically the light will step down to protect itself from overheating and damaging the flashlight. The battery on this, let's go ahead and, well, before we get the battery, let's go ahead and show the charging port. This is the charging port, and it is a very snug connection. You can't just flip it out, which I like, so it's very nice. It's very snug in there. You can turn it out of the way, so very good there. And putting it back is pretty easy. You just got to give it some firm presses to get it back in there. And like I said, it's in there really good, and won't just pop out like some flashlights, so I really like that. Looks like you have a reversible pocket clip here too as well. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the battery here. This is an 18650 battery flashlight. There's that little insulator. It says remove, so you can operate the flashlight. We'll put that aside. Take a look at the battery here. Wurkkos 18650, 3000 milliamp hours. of battery capacity, so very nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tail cap real fast. So I got a spring on the tail cap, and let's see if you got a spring inside the flashlight. Nope. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see down there, I know. Let's see if I can grab a flashlight here that we can see down there. Oh, there it is. I'm trying to look for a certain flashlight and didn't see it. So there you go. A little bit better view of the other flashlight there. We'll zoom back out here. Go ahead and put this back inside. So this flashlight also has the battery level indicator. And as I said, it is USB-C charging. And so when it is charging, this will be flashing red. And when it's, which you should be seeing on the screen now. And also when it's charged, when it's fully charged, this will be solid green. So that way you'll know when it's charging and is charged. Let's see, as I said, this has a battery level indicator on it. So if you turn it on, the light will stay on for a few seconds here. So I'll go ahead and turn it on so you can see that. That tells you the battery level. So real quick, green, which you just saw on here, means the flashlight is 30% or more. If it's red, that means the battery is 30% or less. If it's flashing red, you need to replace or recharge the battery before any kind of extended use. Otherwise, it's probably going to die on you. And this does have a low voltage protection. So if the battery voltage drops below 3 volts, the light will turn off to protect the the battery from damage. So can't speak right now for some reason. Let's see. It does have an electronic reverse polarity function. So if you do put the battery in backwards, you won't fry the flashlight. It has that built in. Very nice feature to have in flashlights. As I've said in previous videos, I had a laser where I put the battery in mistakenly the wrong way and fried my laser. So I really like having the reverse polarity protection. Some flashlights do it electronically, like here on the Wurkkos FC13S, and some do it mechanically. So anyway, very nice there. So let's go over the specs here, the outputs of the flashlight. I'll go ahead and put this on screen here. So the lowest setting is you have Moonlight, 1 lumen, good for 20 days. Eco, 10 lumens, 125 hours. Low, 100 lumens for 22 hours. Mid, 400 lumens for 4.8 hours. High, 1000 lumens, 3.7 hours. Turbo, 2500 lumens for 2.4 hours. I put an asterisk next to it because most likely it will step down due to temperature. Beacon and strobe, both at 2500 lumens. I always like when the special modes are at the same as turbo, especially the strobe and the beacon. SOS does drop down though to 400 lumens, so just to be aware there. The max throw on this flashlight is 166 meters, and the peak intensity is 6,917 candela. So that is the FC13S. Now, real quick, I wanted to say, a lot of people are like, well, why do they have FC13 and the FC13S? So this is the FC13 that I've done a previous video on, which I recommend you check out. I don't know if you can see that. This has the FC13 has the Anduril 2.0 user interface. Gives you tons and tons of features. I definitely recommend you check out the video. It's got a whole bunch of really awesome features, just like this RGB light that you can change on the flashlight here. Helps you find your flashlight in the dark, helps you find the button in the dark. So I really like this feature, and most of the time if I don't want it on, I just partially twist the flashlight and it will turn off. So if I don't want it on, that's what I do to stop it without having to go in and change the functions. So real quick, they're pretty much similar in size. The housings, everything looks identical. I mean, they look basically identical. But obviously the FC13 with the Anduril 2.0 user interface has a lot more features in it, including this RGB light on the switch. You do have a light on, obviously, the FC13S to tell you your battery level indicator and stuff, but you don't have a light like this that can stay on all the time to help you find the flashlight, locate it, these kinds of things. Real quick, I did a quick rundown. So what's the difference between the FC13, which I did a previous review on, and the FC13S? So real quick, the FC13 here, which I did a review on, has two different LEDs that you could get with this light. Now the one they sent me from Wurkkos here that you see here on the right has an SFT40 LED with a max lumens output of 2050 lumens. And or you could get the version of an XHP50.2 LED for the FC13 that's capable of 3500 lumens. The FC13S has the same LED, basically the XHP50.2, but its max output is 2500 lumens. Now throw-wise, the FC13 with the SFT40 has 360 meters of throw, as compared to the FC13S, which has 173 meters of throw. So we will take these both outside tonight, and we will test both of them together. First, we'll go through all the modes on the FC13S, the new flashlight here, and we'll probably do some beam shot comparisons, at least in turbo, of the two lights here that you see. Let's see. Max intensity. So the FC13 here on the right with the SFT40 LED has 32,400 candela, while the FC13S with the XHP 50.2 LED has a max intensity of 6,917 candela. So quite a difference there in their peak intensity outputs. So very interesting there. All right, so with that, I figured I'd bring you up to speed, and I'm sure people that have seen the previous FC13 video were probably curious why is there now an FC13S. So definitely different things here, especially with the Anduril 2.0 and the FC13 as compared to the FC13S. But some people may not like those complicated extra modes and things like this. So this is probably, if I had to guess, their reason for the FC13S, a simpler user interface and the same form factor for an EDC flashlight that a lot of people will probably appreciate. So anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and I'm going to get the camera set up for the UI here for the FC13S, and we'll go ahead and put the FC13 to the side. And again, if you want to check out that video, it's a previous video. I'll have the link in the description for the FC13. But we're going to go back to the FC13S here. So, all right, give me a moment here. We'll go ahead and set up the camera for the UI, and we'll do that now. Okay, the user interface on the FC13S. It's got a fairly simple user interface, which I think makes this flashlight probably more ideal for users that may not want a complicated user interface. While the FC13, the one I did the video on previously that has the Anduril 2.0 user interface, is packed with tons of features, but it's got a pretty complicated UI to use those features. That shouldn't scare you, it just takes time to learn them. You know, the FC13, which I did the video on, it has bike flash mode, lightning mode, all these kinds of things, so pretty awesome. But the FC13S is a more user-friendly UI on it, so that's pretty good. I think that will be desirable by a lot of users or people interested in the flashlight. So to turn it on, you simply just click the side switch, and you're going to jump into Eco first, which is 10 lumens. And to go up, you're going to hold the button down. You're going to jump into low now, 100 lumens. Hold down again, mid, 400 lumens. Hold it down again, high, 1000 lumens. Remember, the camera will auto adjust for brightness. And if you hold it down again, it's just going to go back into Eco. So you'll cycle through Eco, low, mid, and high, okay? To turn the flashlight off, you just click the side switch once, and it turns off. This also does have a moonlight mode, and from off, you're just gonna hold the button down, and it's gonna go to moon. You can't really see that in the wall, but it is 1 lumen. So it is in there. And if you hold it down now, you're just gonna go into Eco, low, mid, and high. If you click it, it goes off. Flashing mode, I'm sorry, before we get to flashing mode, turbo mode. So turbo mode, if the flashlight's on, you're going to double click. There's turbo, very, very bright. Click it again. I think you're just going to go back to your previous setting. Let's bump it up to this level, and let's double click and see if it goes back to that setting. So it has memory in the lower modes, eco through high, so keep that in mind. I'm going to cycle it back through down to eco. Okay, turbo, I think also from off you can get it. So from off, just double click, boom, instant turbo. So that's I think it's a really handy feature. If you're outside and you suddenly need a lot of light, you don't have to turn it on and then click into turbo. You can do it from off. So, and if you did turbo from off and you click the button again, it's just going to turn off. So keep that in mind. All right, flashing mode. So this is going to be a strobe warning for anyone that can't handle flashing lights. So from off, you're going to triple click, so strobe warning. So that is strobe. To cycle to the next special mode, you're going to double click. This is SOS. Remember, SOS drops to 400 lumens. Double click again. And now we're in beacon. And beacon is back to the 2500 lumens. So very nice. Let's see if I double click again, what happens. Goes right back into strobe. So one click again, and it turns off, okay? Now you can also do the same thing from on. So you can get into the special flashing modes from off by triple clicking. You can also do the same thing while the flashlight is on. The only thing is once you get out of that special mode, it'll drop back to the normal mode it was in. So it does have memory there. So if you do it from off, when you click the button, it will just turn off. If you do it, a triple click for all the flashlight is on, you can go through all the special modes, but once you click the button once again, it's going to go drop down to eco, low, mid, or high, whichever you had it set at. So now the next group is basically the same as group 1, except this is what they call ramping mode. So to toggle between group 1 and group 2, or group 1, remember, was step mode, which you just did, and group 2 is ramping mode. If from off, you're going to hold the button down for a second, and you're going to keep holding it for about 3 or 4 seconds total, and then the light's going to do a quick flash, and that's how you know it's changed into the next group mode. So holding it down, you're going to see it goes in the moon for a moment, and now it did that double flash to tell you it's in group 2. So if you hold the button down here, you're going to see it just ramps up and it'll ramp back down. So pretty much everything else is the same. Click it once to turn it back off. I'm going to put it back into step mode again. So again, you're going to see it a little bit when it'll go into moonlight for a brief moment. You just keep holding the button down and it's going to do a quick flash. Now we're back in step mode. So if I hold it down, it's just going to step through. And one click to turn it off. So very easy user interface on the FC13S, which is really cool. I think that'll be desirable for a lot of users. So especially if they're gifting this to their wife or a loved one or a friend or something, and they want a simple flashlight they can pretty much remember how to use easily. I think the FC13S will flip that bill for them. So very awesome. So next, let's go ahead and take these guys. Let's go ahead and take them outside and see how the FC13S performs in the dark. And we'll go through all the modes outside with the FC13S, and at the end we'll compare the FC13S to the FC13 and a turbo shootout between the two flashlights. So just gotta wait for it to get dark, and I'll meet you outside for the beam shots. Okay, the sun has set here in good old sunny Florida, and we are out here at the Wurkkos FC13S, their new flashlight here. And I'm gonna start out moonlight or moonlight mode, which is 1 lumen. Again, you're just going to hold down the button until it comes on. Now I can see it, but I'm not going to be able to make much out. I mean, you're not going to be able to see anything in the ground really. I'll tilt the camera down. You might be able to see just a little bit, but you're not going to really see much with 1 lumen. I would say 1 lumen is probably handy for reading stuff in the dark, in a tent or a campsite or in your house. So something like that probably is most useful for 1 lumen. But let's go ahead and turn that feature off, and we'll turn the light on. We're going to go to Eco here, which is 10 lumens. And at the end of going through the FC13S's outputs, we'll go ahead and compare the turbos between the FC13 with the SFT40 LED and the FC13S here, which we're doing now. So let's go ahead and turn this on. So this is 10 lumens, and you can see pretty good around on the ground here pretty easily. I mean, it's pretty bright. You could definitely, if you needed some light discipline, wanted to walk around your house, and I would say outside, maybe in a familiar area, this would be okay. Anyway, 10 lumens. You can just see the bird bass over there, and the bird bass are probably about 45 feet from me right now. It actually goes out there quite a distance. I can see with my naked eye, but the camera's just not going to pick it up. So let's bump it up to the next one, 100 lumens. And so this is 100 lumens. And you can see the bird bass pretty well there, 45 feet. This flashlight's got some nice spill to it, or nice flood. It's got a little bit of a hot spot in the middle. You can just make out the stump over there. So doing pretty good distance-wise. That stump's probably 125 feet from me. So doing really well there. Let's bump it up again now. We're gonna go to mid, I believe, 400 lumens. So again, very useful beam. Definitely can see a lot with this. Definitely making out to the tree line. I can see the trees pretty well, but not so much on the camera, but trust me, you can definitely see it quite well. All right, let's bump it up to high, 1000 lumens. So 1000 lumens, as expected, pretty much lights up everything. You can definitely see the tree line and everything really, really well. So that's doing really well. Let's go ahead and bump it to turbo. So we'll double click. All right, so this is turbo, 2500 lumens. Doing really, really well. Again, this is about 166 meters of throw. So I'm gonna walk out there and we'll walk back. I'm gonna turn it down as I come back so I don't disturb the neighbors. So. All right, so hopefully that came out pretty well. Hopefully my shed light will turn off here soon, because it's a little hard for me to turn that light off, as I've said in previous videos. So I don't typically mess with it. But hopefully you saw that pretty good. That was 2500 lumens. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the new FC13S in my left hand. I'll go ahead and turn this off. And I'm gonna have the FC13 in my right hand. Now, real quick to remind you on the specs of the FC13 flashlight, its max lumens is 2050 lumens with the SFT40 LED, but it has much more throw, 360 meters of throw compared to the FC13S, which has 166 meters. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the turbo on with the FC13S first. In the left, well, now I have a car driving by, so I'm gonna wait for them to go. All right, they have gone, so let's go ahead and do this. So here we go, FC13S on turbo. So really bright, that's the FC13S in my left hand. And now this is the FC13 in my right hand. So as you can see, the FC13 is definitely more of a thrower. It's got a nice amount of spill to it. Definitely a lot of, a bit more throw and punch, I think you can see. So let me turn that one off. And this is the FC13S. Good all-around beam. Great amount of flood. I mean, if you really want to light up an area, it is doing quite well. So very nice there. So we'll turn that off and turn the FC13 back on. So I think you can see the pretty good difference. So yeah, the FC13 is a bit more of a thrower. It's got a bit more of a hot spot. Still has a great amount of spill. But the FC13S really lights up the area. Definitely showing the difference between 2050 lumens and the 2500 lumens of the FC13S here. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I want to say a big thank you to Wurkkos for sending me out the FC13S here to show on the channel. And anyway, and I think my flashlight is starting to go down a bit, probably because it is getting a bit warm at the tip. So it does definitely get warm. I would say borderline hot. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it down a bit. There we go. So definitely the head of the FC13S does get hot or warm, especially in turbo. So I mean, that's going to be with most flashlights, just FYI. So you guys should know that. But anyway, again, like I said, big thank you to Wurkkos for sending me out the FC13S. And I'm glad I could show it to the FC13, which I did a video on earlier, which I recommend if you're interested in that flashlight, especially that Anduril 2.0 user interface, which is really awesome, has tons and tons of features. Check that out too on my channel. I'll put the links below, but you could also find it in my videos. It's a fairly recent video. So anyway, thanks so much guys for supporting the channel. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Really helps me out and helps me to bring you more videos. So I appreciate it. And I'll say, you guys take care and happy lumens.
Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness.